What's up, everyone? It's Lex and Stacy back again with the 3some podcast after a long layoff and ready to tear some ass up in 2018. Stace,
look at us go.
Yeah, man.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I have this strange feeling of deja vu.
Yeah, well, the reason is we did 2 excellent episodes on Friday, and your boy thought he was recording, but I think I looked at the VU meters below the deck and thought we were cool. Easy mistake. It's been a while.
Yes.
So I am sorry, but God, we had 2 great episodes. I was so upset today because I was loading them up and putting them up as you promised over the weekend. But it is, as we speak, a Monday afternoon, and I am staying here until both these bad boys are up. So,
and I'd like to point out, I gave you no shit about this.
No, you didn't.
In fact, I've been very perky.
No, you've been great, and I'll give you no shit about being in the fetal position for 6 months. So, it's all good. We've actually had a litany of things, most of it technical. We'll be honest with you that we've had to deal with, but I'm hoping that this new.
It's not like we didn't ever try. There were many times in the last 6 months that we hooked up, and we were sitting here and then it just wouldn't work, whether my shitty internet or one of the two of us having, because I've got a crappy old computer too,
I also found out something about us, that we have standards. There were some episodes we did, and afterwards we both would either text each other or talk and go, I didn't fucking like that. Not one bit. It wasn't us. It was below our standards, so I'd rather not put one out. And so we do have quality control on this podcast, and
shocking.
It kind of is, isn't it? And
we've lowered the bar to like Trump level, and we still were going below that.
No, listen. We're a professional outfit here. I mean, we are. We still, for a while, we're just going to be honest with you. And this is the nice thing about podcasting. We just weren't feeling it. Not because we're pissed at each other or anything like that, but I was super busy at the end of the year and with Lex and Terry stuff and personal stuff and everything else. And you, on the other hand, were going through some stuff you needed to go through. We may or may not talk about. And it feels real fresh right now.
It does.
Well-needed layoff.
Like a summer's eve.
We told you we'd never, I don't know what that feels like, Stacy, but I've seen the commercials. I'll just trust you. That's amazing. And, here we are, ready to go.
We are.
Both of us still, 72 hours later, outraged after seeing lovely young Allie Reisman, who I kind of thought was kind of a snobby kid and kind of entitled or whatever, and I've come to find out she is an amazing woman.
Knowing everything that happened to these girls, I've thought about it. Like, I've actually sat quietly and reflected on what has happened to these girls, and they were still winning medals. They were still, at the very top of all the games, literally, while this stuff was happening to them. And if you look at them now, if you go back and you look when they're winning and they're doing all this, it does change your perspective on what was going on in their heads. So she might have looked like a little snobby kid then, but, she was masking a lot of stuff too.
I saw this documentary over the holidays called Winning, and it had several different athletes. One of them was Nadia Comaneci, the Romanian gymnast who at 13 years old.
She had the first perfect score, wasn't she?
She had several perfect scores, won numerous medals. She was absolutely amazing. And now that I think about that, I wonder if any other country gymnasts are going to come out maybe with some stuff of their own after these girls.
Yeah, is this just because this guy just happened to find himself, I mean, if you're a child molester, he really found himself a sweet gig. I hate to put it that way, but and so is this something that's rampant in the gymnastics community, or was it just because he ended up where he did?
I mean, obviously that is it, but he put himself in a position by going to school and all that stuff to obviously have that opportunity.
Right.
I mean, and to think a guy sitting in college and med school and all that, just thinking, yeah, one day I'm going to get to, I'm going
to have my finger in gold medalists over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. That went through his mind. Had to have.
I got another one today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, this is easy. Everybody has my back because I'm the best there is. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm invincible.
Right.
All that stuff. In the meantime, all those people, because they want to be the best gymnastics program and blah, 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 are letting, how many at this point? 143, 144?
Something like that, yeah. That's if this had happened to Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky and it's just,
well, I mean,
they're just the best. These girls are the best at what they did, and they weren't protected, and they were still excelling and succeeding even under those conditions, which in my mind kind of makes some little more warriors than other athletes.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about the idea of a violated LeBron or somebody like that. It's like, ooh, get out of the way.
He's got big fingers.
Yeah, and it's just plays nasty enough as it is, let alone with that going on. But, there's probably somebody in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball that's gone through something similar.
Oh, I'm sure there has, and I feel terrible for them if it does. I just mean, it's not like you see the entire Detroit Tigers all stepping forward going, yeah, our team doctor has had his finger in all of us, But that's pretty much the U.S. gymnastics for years. His finger has been in everybody.
I mean, that's so disgusting. And to think that he learned to do it with moms in the room and that kind of thing is even more, like he didn't even get scared enough after they were putting people in the room with him to stop doing it.
Remember, the movie The Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
Yeah.
I remember the whole premise. Rebecca De Mornay's husband was the gynecologist, and they have that awful scene where all they do is show him, with the legs spread wide, and his hand is down under the table, and he slips his glove off. Oh God!
Yeah.
You could hear women in theater just all slamming their legs shut.
Yeah, I mean, I there's no way if I was a chick I'd go see a dude gynecologist. No way. Unless it's some sort of sick turn on for some of you. I don't know. But I've never heard any chick I've ever known say.
Well, see, but there's also those that, and again, it's just taste, preference, but there are women who would prefer, because of a gay thing, they don't want women touching them.
Well, I mean,
it's more natural for a man too.
Lisa said her OBGYN was hot, was a hot dude, but that still that 30 seconds to minute or so, he's checking her out was something she had to kind of get ready for, a couple days ahead.
It's not pleasant, And, this is something that a guy, I guess, doesn't really understand, on a very base primal level. But, when a woman opens her legs, whether sexually or however, it is a very vulnerable moment. It is a thing. You are as exposed as you're going to be as a human being. And so when you are doing it in a cold, because, it's always cold in those rooms.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a cold room. It's white, bright awful lights, and it's just nerve-wracking.
But
I'm sure somewhere there is someone who sexually gets turned on by it, because everything turns everybody on at some point.
Yeah.
But it's pretty horrifying.
She said, she'd go through a progression of afterwards, like, that was creepy or doesn't make me feel good, but he's still hot. But and then she goes to I could never be married to a guy that does that. Because mine's going to become very ordinary to him quickly. It may already be,
That is actually a line from an old episode of Friends.
Yeah.
It was Jonathan Silverman was a gynecologist, but he was all hot and everything. And Jennifer Aniston's all, hey. And he finally has to sit her down and says, you know how you serve coffee all day? And she said, yeah. And he said, when you get home, I bet you don't want to have a cup of coffee. And she went, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, that's why as a dude, I'd never pick that as a profession. It's like everything we do is for women,
Right.
It's like from the day you're old enough to go, you see your first one and you're attracted to her. From that point on, everything you try to do is that.
Right.
And then, it's just to think that that's your job and, you have that over your chick. It's like, I'm not sleeping with you tonight. It's like, oh, gee, I'm not going to see any pussy tonight. Wow.
Well, because you think...
I can wait till 8 a.m. It's cool.
You know how you just said with her saying, it'd become... Mine would become ordinary very quickly. But think about, because as a doctor, you see the worst case scenarios. You see things, I'm sure, down there that you have nightmares about.
Yeah.
And would make you never want to go near one again.
Well, I mean, I
think about the diseased ones.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's it's all hit or miss. The guy probably gets to see, one or two hot ones a day, and then the rest is horrific.
And, I guess I do have to wonder. I've never really thought about it because I just hate them so much. I really try to just not think about it. I hope they don't even talk to me. And I know that, there's always that small talk. It's like, oh, you're down between my legs and blah, blah, blah.
Well, she said he had, had it down as far as, not being so clinical where, you're even more uncomfortable and not being too conversational. It was just enough where it was the best it could be, in that 5 to 15 minutes you're in there. And
well, the speculum's cold. They tell you they try warming it up. I call bullshit on that. They stick it in you and then it spreads open, and that's not comfortable. And then they have that huge, 2-foot long Q-tip that they have to swab your cervix with. And, that's a weird feeling. That is weird because it is up inside you, and it's like you can feel just like this weird little thing, and it's like, oh, so gross.
Yeah,
and you're trying to, that's when they're like, keep your knees open, and it's like, no, I want to crush your head with my legs right now.
So here we are talking about grown people. It's making feel weird. Imagine these girls who don't even realize they're at the gynecologist for starters. Right. And here's this guy saying, "Oh, this is okay. I'm aligning your spine. I'm going to make you a better gymnast." Just all this stuff they're going to have to live with the rest of their life. It's not enough they got violated. They get to feel stupid too, or gotten over on. It angers the crap out of me as a guy with a daughter.
It should anger you, Lex, even as just a human being.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
yes.
but unfortunately I can't separate that. I have a young daughter. There's been times where she's been around people that for some reason or another, there's a feeling in my gut saying, I don't think I'm going to leave her alone with that person.
Right.
No accusations or anything like that. There, no substantial evidence.
I get it.
Just something I've done my whole life is trust my little fat gut when it tells me something ain't right. And I think some of these parents, thinking they're in the upper echelon of the gymnastics world, just,
it could never happen to me.
And think of what they're going through. I mean, think of the fact that this happened under their watch, and that their radar let them down, or even their kid tried to tell them. And
right,
I mean, I'd have to think out of 143 girls, there were at one time or another 143 hints that I don't want to go back there or there or there.
Well, that's how I think one of the ways it was busted was, I don't remember which two girls they were talking about it. They were kind of like standing alone somewhere, and were kind of commenting on what had just happened to both of them. And a mom heard and said, or mom or a coach, something, and said, are you kidding? And that's when they went to and just started raising holy hell. Finally, someone raised holy hell.
Well, I mean, I saw them talking to a 36-year-old on ESPN when they broke the story on Outside the Lines. And I want to apologize, by the way, to ESPN for this one story in general, nothing else, because they've become a very substandard journalism product to me over the last 5 years, as they've let quality journalists and people go for the bottom line, and then recently, under the cover of Night on a Friday Night, let go all kinds of technical people and people that make those people you see on TV look good with a very quiet announcement. And I love the fact that fellow journalists, tweeted and Facebooked and said, no, ESPN, you're not getting away with it. These people, sold their soul for you, and, we're going to let everybody know you let them go, and just treated them like crap. So very low opinion of ESPN. But when they launched this story on Outside the Lines, which is probably the only decent journalism product they have left, I got to tell you, this guy's been up at Michigan State for 14 months chasing this story. 14 months. And he finally got it all to the point where they could break it on ESPN. And of course, very well documented. I was fascinated, glued to the TV, horrified. All kinds of different things. Because these, from age 6 to 36, these girls are having to live with this,
Right. And that's something that happens, guess what, the rest of your life. That doesn't just go away. No,
that's 140 girls pushing that down, way, way down somewhere, hoping it never rises up and gets them, but it does.
That Yahoo story that I had read the last time we recorded this, there was a line in there that just made me kind of go, oh, I hadn't even thought of it that way. All of these girls, you win a gold medal in the Olympics. That's like the pinnacle of everything for you. And guess what? When you think about that, you're thinking about the guy and his fingers. Like, this is a huge accomplishment that these girls achieved, that they did. This is their accomplishment, and it is marred forever for them because of this guy.
And for those of you who think we're talking about no-name gymnasts here, we're not. We're talking about Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, Allie Reisman. Who knows how far back it goes? I'm still waiting for Mary Lou Retton or somebody to say something. Right. It's absolutely horrible. That the most decorated gymnasts we've had over the last 20 years have probably been in some way, shape, or form.
Guy.
Yeah. And
molested. You talk about it with other people and stuff, but these girls, when you see them standing there getting their medal and stuff, they were being trained and molested.
And you see them up there crying, and you think, hey, I just want a gold medal for my country, but I wonder what you're really crying about.
I hope they're crying for that. I hope it's the memories later of what they had. I don't know. I hope they got to enjoy it. But you don't
know is the thing. It's like it's ruined. It's got crap on it now.
Yeah.
You know,
and everybody loves the gymnasts. I mean, that's one of the most popular things everybody watches during the Olympics. That and figure skating, you know.
Well, I mean, it's just always impressed me that you know, somebody so young, you know, has to get up and do these routines and stuff on the world stage. I mean, millions, maybe even billions of people watching.
I know the pressure.
Yeah, and
the talent.
And you're being scored. You make one little, like, 1-inch move, and they take points away from you and stuff like that. And it's just, it's riveting watching, you know, because they have put in their whole life. You know, the work.
And now their vaginas, too.
The work for that moment. You know, and then you add this to it. I mean, fuck, man. It is just mind-blowing how strong-minded they are.
Yes.
And
that's what I'm saying. And not to take it, but with my comment, like with, you know, Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky and stuff, you know, you don't know how they would have done if bad things had been happening to them. And you know what? Very well, bad things did happen to them, and they've just never talked about it. Who knows?
Well, I mean, sometimes that makes somebody better. Angrier, harder
and sometimes
working.
Sometimes you become Tanya Harding.
Or I was about to say, or you're the first woman they talked to in the ESPN thing is 36, and she was like one of our most promising gymnasts, and she just they were showing footage of her at 16 just not caring, and she was watching the video, and she said, I was in such a dark place right there. I just didn't care. I just wanted to quit. You know,
because he took that from her.
Yeah. God knows who else. How many other gold medal winners did he send away?
Yep. What a pig! What a fucking pig! How long do you think he's going to stay alive in prison?
There's no way they could put that guy in G-pop. There's no way.
Part of me wants him to be put there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they put Jeffrey Dahmer in with the regulars, they can put this guy in there.
Yeah. Although, you know, it has been over the past 10 or 20 years, they're very careful not to do that. You know, Jared's still alive. You know, Subway guy.
Yes.
Who has some of the same desires.
I don't think he was quite as successful in it. I don't know. He's such a pig.
He didn't have the availability of them just coming in and laying on the table for him. But if he could have, you know, just an absolute.
Every day, we just suck. Humans suck. You know, we almost deserve for the nuclear holocaust to happen. I don't know. Yeah. There just seems to be not a lot of light.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm not blowing up. I haven't done anything wrong. Screw you, Stacey. You can blow yourself up, but I'm not doing it.
Well, I don't want it, but it's just
I've led an exemplary life.
Well, you are very lucky. And I had asked you that. This was back a few months ago when we were just talking on the phone. I'd asked Lex, you know, so is there anything you need to worry about with the whole Me Too thing going on? And you assured me no, which I believe you, because I do not have any firsthand knowledge of any bad behavior on your part.
No. For one thing, two people I look up to the most in my life is my mom and my big sister. You know, they're really strong, capable. You know, my sister is a, you know, very successful executive, and, you know, was you know, it's just somebody I look up to, you know, and
right.
You know, she gave me a good blueprint as a boss on how to deal with women, because she didn't just tell me about, you know, the good ones. She told me about the bad ones, you know, right. And what they'll try to do to compromise you and so on and so forth. So I got schooled pretty well by her, you know, and as well as my dad too, who just told me, I had something go bad at the grocery store. I dated one of the cashiers or something, and she ended up being psychotic or something and tried to get me fired and all this stuff. And he gave me the company peer talk, you know. And I at that point made sure I never dated anybody I worked with ever again. And that's pretty much...
I know that's hard for some people to do, especially if your work is your life, and all you do is you go to work and then you come home and you don't have an opportunity to meet or see other people outside the workplace. I get it. I totally understand it. But, basically if you are over someone in a position of power, if they are a coworker or if they are a colleague, keep your penis in your pants. We don't need to masturbate. And,
yeah,
just don't ask him out. Don't touch him. Don't talk to him.
Brett Ratner and have shrimp cocktail and jerk off while Olivia Munn's in your office.
Oh, have you ever watched One Mississippi with Tig Notaro?
No.
It's actually a good show. I kind of have a weird lesbian girl crush on her. And this came out before the Me Too thing happened, but I know it was totally a dig at Louis C.K. There is an episode in the second season where her coworker goes in and a boss tells her to shut the door and stuff. And while she's pitching an idea to him, he's sitting at his desk, very obviously jerking off. And it is the most uncomfortable thing.
Here's the thing. That
was 25 minutes.
I had some really beautiful women work for me, and that never occurred to me that was even in the area code of something you can do. It's like not even in the scope of something you have to think about. And
I just don't get it, and I recognize this is probably a male-female difference thing. I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
It's a power thing.
If you guys are so inclined, just, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom and quietly take care of business where no one can see or hear you.
Or wait,
even your other
wait 5 minutes and close your blinds in the office or something. But Jesus Christ, don't make it so somebody can walk out the door and go, oh my God, he just ate a shrimp cocktail and jerked off in front of me. Who does that?
Well, if you want to understand that feeling of awkwardness, it's season 2 of One Mississippi. It's on Amazon Prime, right. Tig Notaro show. But it's just uncomfortable. You're just sitting there. I, as a female, was just kind of just going, oh God, I understand, because she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why don't you, it's in your power to get up and leave. That scene just really illustrated
and then possibly never act again or get to perform again. I can definitely see where some girls tried to ride it out, but it's wrong.
You try to be cool, it's like, all right, he's jerking off. I'm just not gonna rock the boat. I'm just gonna
I'm
talking
sure,
and stare at the bookshelf.
I'm sure they picture Brett Ratner at a party later going, oh yeah, Olivia's cool, man. I jerked off and ate shrimp cocktail in front of her and she didn't care. But it's fucking wrong. It's just,
I know.
It's just messed up. So anyway, Stacey, we got to wrap it up.
Yes.
We have new time standards now because we have an exciting new platform and everything else that we're being involved with. So we are watching our P's and Q's with our time. So we will see you for episode 132 here next episode. And thank you so much. It's great to be back on the Threesome Podcast. Bye.
Bye.